Welcome to the premiere episode of JCI Santa Clarita's podcast. My name is Koren Young, broadcasting to you from RK Studios. Coming up in this program, we're going to talk to Chelsea Orzechowski about politics on tap. But first, we have a special guest in the studio. This is Neil Fitzgerald, who is our current Executive Vice President. Neil, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Welcome, Neil. How you doing?
I'm very well, Koren. How are you?
Very good, thank you. So I'm relatively new to the organization. You've been around for a while. Would you mind telling me how you found out about JCI and what got you into it?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on today. I joined JC's in 2012. Obviously, I come with an accent. I moved to Santa Clarita Valley for work for Princess Cruises from the UK, and I didn't know anybody. And so I joined the JC's originally to make friends. And at the first event I went to, the JCs were asking me, did I like to volunteer? Was I interested in leadership development? So I told them about some of the things I got up to in the UK. And they were like, oh, why don't you join a committee and help us out? And I started going to a couple of events and our membership meetings and different committee events as well. And then I really got involved. We had a 5K for a cancer charity. And we were running the 5K. And that week of the 5K, my family were over from the UK. And I always remember my family leaving and me going to the 5K. And then afterwards, I was feeling a little bit down because, I didn't have my family with me anymore. And I remember going to the 5K after party. And I remember looking around in somebody's backyard and I realised that I knew nearly everybody there. And I realised that I'd made lifelong friends.
That's a good feeling.
That's a great feeling, Koren. So I joined to make friends. What I've got out of it is leadership development and skills. I'd been involved in leadership positions in the UK before, but when I joined Princess, I took a step down in terms of my career. And Princess said, well, you need to prove that you've got leadership skills in America. And so I used the JCs and the positions that I had within for JCs as well to kind of hone my leadership skills and how do you work with different people from different perspectives and different backgrounds and cultures. And then that helped me get a promotion at work. And then with the JCs now, I've been involved locally, nationally, and now internationally as well. And I can honestly say the organisation's helped change my life.
That's awesome. Now, I've only been involved in JCI in Santa Clarita, but I know that you've been all over the country and even other parts of the world, maybe? Tell me about your involvement in JCI on the national and international level.
Sure. So one of the cool things about our organisation is that you can develop yourself as much as you want to. So if you want to help organise a new event, that's cool. If you just want to come to our socials and trainings, that's cool. But we do have a leadership development pathway as well. So I was lucky enough to be our chapter president for 2 years in a row. And then I joined the state team as our EVP, and then I was our state president. And then once you're state president, you then really have to decide, do you want to go further within the organisation? And so I ran for national vice president. There's 6 positions covering the country. And I did that in 2017. And I looked after Wisconsin, Delaware, Mississippi, Maryland, North Carolina, and Tennessee. And so I got to travel around the country. I got to work with JCs in all of those states. I got to go to our national conventions. And then for 2018, I became Director of Chapter Development, which was a brand new role with the US JCs. And I flew around America starting new chapters, and we did 24. And I got to go all over the country. And then this year,
is that 24 cities that you went to in that year?
I didn't go to 24 cities as such. I helped with 24 new chapters.
I got you.
But I went everywhere. I went to Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Florida, South Carolina, Maryland, Mississippi a couple of times, New York, West Virginia. I'm sure I'm forgetting one, but I went to Denver. Yeah, I got to travel a lot last year.
My goodness, and this is just a volunteer position, right?
Yeah.
So you're not getting paid. Why do you do this?
Because I want to give back. The JC's changed my life, and I feel that within America, there's lots of young people who want to develop themselves, and it's really hard as well if you want to become a manager in for a corporate. When you apply for positions and they tell you don't have leadership skills because you're not a manager already, it's like, how do you show that you've got leadership skills if you don't have a leadership title? And I think everyone can be a leader. And so I'm all about how you can develop another person to hone their skills. And it doesn't matter what job title you have. It doesn't matter what position you have within the organisation. Everyone truly can be a leader and everyone truly can develop themselves.
Right. And so this is an organization where anybody can go ahead and take that chance on a project, and the organization can take a chance on the individual.
Exactly. And it's an organisation where it's okay to fail. I think too many people get worried that their project might not work, but essentially with me, the things I've learnt the most in my life are the things of when I failed, because the cool thing about the JCs, it's a safe space where everyone's in it together. Everyone will backfill and help each other out if somebody gets stuck, and we're all about developing and learning. So the cool thing is you get to do some cool community projects, but you get to learn through doing them how you can improve yourself and how you can improve your leadership skills as well.
That's so cool. You've benefited so much from the organization. You've contributed to it. Let me ask you before we wrap things up, what is your favorite JCI experience?
There is a lot. I think my favorite JCI experience was going to a national training for all the local chapter presidents. And it was the first time I went to a national event, and it was in St. Louis. And I got to meet other chapter presidents all throughout the country. There was about 400 of us there. And I've made lifelong friends with that. And 3 of my best friends, Katie's from West Virginia, Emily's from Maryland, and Miranda's from Mississippi. We have our own WhatsApp group, and we talk daily, if not hourly. I travel around the country with these girls. I can always rely on them. And I made those friends through doing that. And then there was a guy there as well, Thierry, who's a very good friend of mine, who was from France, and he was a president for Houston in Texas. He's another good friend of mine. I flew up to Denver for New Year's and hung out with him and his family for New Year's. And I've got friends all over the country from joining for JCs.
Wow, that is so cool. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for your dedication to the organization.
Thank you.
That was Neil Fitzgerald, the Executive Vice President of JCI Santa Clarita and the former Growth and Development Commissioner for the JCI Americas. Joining us in the studio next, we have Chelsea Orzechowski, who is our current Vice President of Government and External Affairs. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hi, Koren. It's great to be here.
Thank you for coming in. I know that you're resurrecting a program that we used to have in our chapter of JCI called Politics on Tap. It's not new by any means, but it hasn't been around in the year and a half that I've been in the organization. So tell me a little bit about what is Politics on Tap.
Politics on Tap is supposed to be an opportunity for our young community of professionals to get together, to be civically engaged, to have that one-on-one personal touch with our elected officials and other people in the governmental spectrum.
So how does the event work? Walk me through. If I were to come into the event, what can I expect?
Our vision for this event this year is going to be very low-key fireside chat type of environment.
Ooh.
We'll have a check-in. We'll have some of our sponsors there doing voter registration and sharing about their political groups. We are a nonpartisan, so you'll see a variety of speakers from all walks of the political spectrum as well. And we're going to sit down with our peers in a low-key environment and have a conversation.
Cool. So how do you even get started in planning something like this?
And we're hoping to streamline the process for future events, but since we are resurrecting something that's been a little bit dormant here for a while, we just had our first committee meeting talking about the very detailed planning, and we are looking at an event hopefully in November.
Ooh, okay. That's a ways away, but I know a lot goes into it. What kind of speakers have you reached out to? Like, you don't have to name names if you don't want to, but like what level of politics and, what kind of professions?
We are wanting to reach out to all different interests. So beyond just our state and congressional level elected officials, we're hoping to bring in some young people in our age demographic that have run for positions such as school boards and city council. We have reached out to the Santa Clarita City Council members as well. They're interested. We're hoping to branch out and have a very different variety of levels of people involved.
That's really cool. So whether they've been elected to their position or not, anyone who's run or has been involved in the political process would be welcome to speak to our group.
Yes, and Absolutely. I think that falls in line even greater with the mission of Junior Chamber International. We are a professional development organization, and it's important to hear from people in our age demographic that reached that step higher to engage with the branch of politics locally or even higher than that. So I'm hoping to learn from them, and our people will be able to learn from them as well.
How cool. So our first event is going to be in the somewhat distant future. It'll be at the end of this year. But what's the goal going forward for the frequency of events?
We are hoping that it'll end up being a quarterly event. I have a vision for this program moving forward. So hopefully November-ish, and then January, and then every 3 months after that, we'll have something.
And I want to ask you, what made you want to step up to do this program? Why are you doing this?
I find it really fascinating, politics, personally. And I don't think I'm that well versed in all the pieces and components of it. So this is also an opportunity for me to learn what I want to learn. And I'm sure there's other people out there that want to learn these same things.
How cool. Okay, so instead of taking a job that you do at work that you think you can contribute to the organization, you took something that you're very unfamiliar with and tried to kind of jump into it and grow yourself personally and professionally.
Absolutely. I think that's the perfect way of looking at this organization. And I encourage anyone who joins to take on a position that they do not do at work. We are here to help build your resume and help enhance the skills that you don't have. I hope also one day I'll be an MC at one of the presentations that we do, because that's something else I'm looking to work on. So
I'm sure it can be arranged.
I hope so.
Okay, so once the information has been published, where can people go to find out more information about our first and upcoming Politics on Tap sessions?
Well, we have a dedicated marketing and media team here with Junior Chamber International, so you're definitely going to see everything: social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We are going to have some print at our upcoming events so that there'll be something tangible for you to take away. And those are our main modes. Hopefully some press releases will get in there too.
Okay, and we'll have information on our local website as well, right? JCI Santa Clarita?
Absolutely. We will definitely have it there, without a doubt.
Great. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Chelsea. That's Chelsea Orzechowski, the Vice President of Government and External Affairs for JCI Santa Clarita. If you have any questions about JCI or want to join the organization, please check us out online at jcisantaclarita.com. And if you got any value out of this podcast, we ask that you share it with your friends. Tune in to the next episode as host Neil Fitzgerald interviews Daniela Ches about her experience with JCI, and we'll learn a little bit about 40 Under 40. Thanks for listening.